Yesterday we learned about negative numbers. Today we're going to learn how to use them when subtracting using the left to right method. So based on the learning we did on Monday, can you use this number line to solve this problem? 3 take away 5. So we start on the number 3 and jump back 5 places. And that gets us to negative 2. Remember, if we are adding, we're jumping forwards, and if we're subtracting, we're jumping backwards. This time, let's have a look at this one. We are starting at a negative number and we're adding 5. So negative 3 add 5 gets us to 2. If you think about the temperature, minus 3 degrees, and then it goes up 5 degrees, it would become 2 degrees. And now I want you to have a look at this. If we have a positive number, so here we've got 3, and we're adding negative 4. Now, the reason I put it in brackets is because that's how we need to organise the numbers when we are adding a negative. So 3 add negative 4 becomes a subtraction. Because if we put it into context, if we're at 3 degrees and the temperature is going up by a negative, we're simply going down. So if we look at the number line, you'll see that I have gone down 4 jumps, and that's got me to negative 1. So when we add a negative, they essentially cancel each other out and become a negative. So it's the same as 3 take away 4. Now, if you're thinking, whoa, mind blowing, don't understand this, Miss Taylor. Well, let's look at it this way. What if it was negative? What if we swapped it around? Essentially, we're doing the same thing. Negative 4 add 3 is negative 1. Because we are starting at negative 4 and we're going forward 3 jumps, which gets us to negative 1. It is the same as what we did in the last sum. Now you're going to use this in the left to right method for subtraction. So take a moment and have a look at these two and see if you can pause the video and work them out. Now please remember, if you're finding this too tricky, go back to my previous lesson on negative numbers and do a little revision. So let's look at this one. 5, which is a positive number, add negative 7. Essentially, we're doing 5 take away 7 because the positive and the negative cancel each other out and become a subtraction. So 5 add negative 7 is negative 2. And if we look at the next one, 2 add negative 4 is the same as 2 take away 4, which is minus 2. And if you're ever in doubt, switch the numbers around. Negative 7 add 5 is negative 2. Negative 4 add 2 is negative 2. It's the same sum, it's the same answer, but sometimes it's easier to switch the numbers around. And how do we solve this problem using the left and right method? Remember, we start with the tens and then use the ones. And we need to have 3 steps. Can you pause this video now and solve that using the 3 steps? So remember, our first step is using the tens. So 30 subtract 10 is 20. Our second step is looking at the ones. 5 subtract 2 is 3. And our last step is to add both of those answers together. We must add in step 3 because we've already subtracted the 10, we've already subtracted the ones, so to find the final answer we need to add those two sums together. So let's have a look at this sum. 43 take away 27. So think about the 3 steps that you would need to take. The first step is looking at the tens. 40, take away 20, we're left with 20. That is step 1. Step 2, looking at the ones. 3, take away 7. We now know how to do that because it's a negative number. It will be -4. Now, this is where it gets a bit tricky. Remember, in the last step, we have to add, although we're subtracting, we have to add the 2 numbers together because we've already done the subtraction. So we're now left with 20 add -4. See if you can work that out based on what we went over in the middle of this lesson. So 20 add -4 is 16. We would have gotten the same answer if we'd done -4 add 20, which gets us 16. So do whatever way round works best for you and how you understand it. I'll show you another one. Okay, I would firstly like to apologise for my handwriting because this pen, as you can see, is almost done. So I'm struggling, but I will need to go into school and get a new one. Okay, so I have chosen to use hundreds here because just in case any of you choose the spicy challenge, okay? So our first step therefore would be dealing with the hundreds. So there are no hundreds that we're taking away. So that would be 100 take away 0. 100 take away nothing is 100. If you have £100, you spend nothing, you're still going to have £100. Then our second step would be the tens. So 60 take away 80. Now obviously that is a really big one to do on a number line, so try and put it into context if you're really understanding negative numbers now. If you had £60 and you wanted to buy something that was 80, you would be £20 short, so -20. Our third step, I'm just going to make this a little bit smaller so we can fit in the... Our third step would be dealing with the ones. So 1 take away 2, as we know, is -1. Now, our final step. Remember what I said. Yes, we are using subtraction. We are subtracting 82 from 161. But in the left to right method, we subtract 1 place value at a time. We have subtracted the hundreds, we've subtracted the tens, we've subtracted the ones. So we have done all the subtraction. It's all done. So we need to add our answers together to get our final answer. So we are doing 100 add -20 add -1. Now remember what I said. The reason I'm keeping the adding sign there so that you don't forget that in the left-right method we always add at the end because we've already done the subtraction. Okay? And when you add a negative number to a positive number, you end up going back down the number line. Okay? So it's essentially 100 take away 20, take away 1, which gets us 70. Oh, it won't let me write it. 79. Believe it or not, that says 79 there. Thank you for watching. I have uploaded a chili challenge. So please choose your level based on how you found that lesson. Remember, if you think this is a step too far and you don't understand it, go back to the lesson that I did on negative numbers, and I would also go back to the lesson that I did on subtraction strategies, as that will really help you as well. And please give the left to right method a go, but if you're really struggling with it and you just do not get it, you've tried it loads, use other methods, okay? Don't want you to worry because there are other ways to do subtraction. But this is one way that you can use where you can really see what numbers you're using and what you're actually doing with them. If you need any help, please let me know. Thank you.